What is up, everyone? Happy Football Friday on a Thursday. Everything and anything is going down literally at this exact moment. Everyone's talking about a trade. We got college football going on. And yeah, there's way too much stuff going on. College football week 1, though. So excited. Football is back. Boise State is playing like absolute dog shit right now. Losing 10-7 at the halftime. So yeah, Jimmy, the first real bet of college football has already been sacrificed. So that's fun. Boise State first half money line was a fantastic ride. We also have, though, Rutgers going on. Rutgers winning at halftime. I believe they went to half. They're playing Ohio right now, and they are up 31-17 at halftime. So high scoring affair in Piscataway. Bowling Green's up on Lafayette 10-0. NC State just finishing the first quarter up 3-0 on East Carolina. Jacksonville State UCF. They are scoreless at the end of the first. So, of course, someone had minus a half UCF at the end of the first quarter. That was cool. Delaware State tied at the end of the first quarter. UL Monroe and St. Francis in a delay. Akron, Wyoming tied at the end of the first, almost 0-0. Central Arkansas, Mizzou just kind of starting there in the first quarter, 0-0. Elon and Duke 0-0 in the first. UT Martin, Oklahoma State 0-0 in the first quarter. Just one thing to note, college football. Iowa, big news for the Hawkeyes. Wide receiver Reese Vanderzee had a freak foot injury, out about a month there. So Mark Gronowski's, I believe, top receiver for the Hawkeyes out for first third of the season. Excuse my eating. UFL, the Stallions re-signing a key piece of their defense, safety Kenny Robinson Jr., so he is back in the fold. And let's talk about what everyone and their mother is talking about, Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
There was a bevy of trades this week as teams cut down to 53 on Tuesday. But the big trade that happened today, about 2 hours
ago.
2 hours and 15 minutes ago. Yeah. Micah Parsons on the move. Packers acquiring linebacker Micah Parsons, subsequently signing him to a 4-year, $188 million extension. $136 million guaranteed there. Cowboys get back a 26 first, a 27 first, and defensive tackle Kenny Clark. So pretty simple terms there for the sides. And go ahead, you're the NFC North guy.
I'm going to start by just roasting Jerry Jones. You're telling me you couldn't have gotten better than this? 2 firsts and a 30-year-old defensive tackle coming off the worst season of his career for probably, I don't want to say the best edge rusher, but top 3 edge rusher. It's probably him, Watt, and Garrett. Probably Hendrickson, but I want to see like a couple more seasons of being the top edge rusher. But like, this is peanuts to give away your best player. And let's be honest, the Packers have not picked above pick 20. I think they picked once above pick 20 in like the last 6 drafts. And this team probably expects to continue to compete. So I don't realistically see either of these first round picks like anything better than 15th if you're lucky. I mean, it's a bad trade for the Dallas Cowboys. I can't wrap my head around it. It really isn't a good deal for Dallas. Like, heck, I'm half expecting the Vikings to just try calling on Diggs and just like, can you get like a second round pick and like, I don't know, freaking Naylor for this guy? Because I mean, Jerry Jones is a moron. There's no way around it. Jerry Jones is a moron. But from the Packers' perspective, this is a great deal. You get, like I mentioned, top 3 or 4 edge rusher in the NFL at 26 years old in his prime, joining an extremely young team. I think the only concern I have on the Packers side, and I noticed this earlier, they are paying, Micah Parsons and Jordan Love combined almost $100 million per season. Like, that's a lot of money. This team is good enough to get to the playoffs, and we've seen them get to the playoffs with Jordan Love. I want to say Micah Parsons moves the needle, but I'm not overly impressed with the Packers defense in terms of just everything around Parsons. I think he makes it better, obviously. This is kind of like Khalil Mack, going to the Bears. But I also like pump the brakes and go like, well, the Bears won 0 playoff games with Khalil Mack. This makes the Packers better. I don't know how well they'll supplement it. There's still questions about the rest of the defensive line, the defensive unit other than Xavier McKinney. There's question about if Jordan Love is going to play up to that contract. But Packers, they get an A+. He's worth $47 million a year. I mean, Cowboys, I'm sorry, you get an F. You get a defensive player that's older, and you get 2 maybe early 20s, late teens picks. Like, unless you absolutely smash on both those picks, you got nothing. You really got nothing. So, yeah, clear A+ and F grades here.
Yeah, I sort of agree. I definitely thought that Micah was going to go for more. It was definitely a minimum of 2. And then, I kind of agree that that's why when I was talking to a friend about it on the way home here, before we knew what player it was, I was like, well, what do the Cowboys need? They need interior D and interior O-line. So I was like, I can't remember, other than Elgton Jenkins, which I knew the Packers wouldn't move, who the Packers had inside there on the offensive side. But on defense, my first thought was Devontae Wyatt, former first-round pick, youngish still. He's still youthful in his mid-20s, I believe. So I thought that would have been sort of the get there, but they got the older guy and Kenny Clark, and apparently still believe that there's some tread there, but I don't know. Packers, yeah, I know our guy Danny Potter was all hyped about it, saying Super Bowl and whatnot. I'm sure a lot of Packers fans are. But I don't know. I think that I had them at 7-10 originally, finishing at the bottom of the division. And does Micah elevate them enough to quell all their other issues? And I still think there's a secondary issue. Packers fans are probably like, well, if Micah's getting pressure, then don't have to cover for that long. Maybe that's true. But what's going to happen? You're going to double team Micah every single play. That means Lucas Van Ness has to be a guy. Rashawn Gary has to continue to be playing well. And those are 2 big question marks I have. Van Ness has not worked out as a first-round pick so far in terms of sack production anyways. And I don't know. I think there's a lot of issues still on this Packers team offensively. Obviously, you kind of mentioned Jordan Love. Can he stay healthy? And will the receivers step up? Will Matthew Golden be the guy that they think he is? That I don't know about you. I don't think he's a true number one wide receiver, but and yeah, can Josh Jacobs stay healthy again? Because that has been an issue in his career. Wasn't last year too much, but yeah, I think they have a lot of injury concerns as well historically across the board. But yeah, I mean, maybe it elevates the Packers, but I still don't see them. I still see them being a fringe team. I don't see them all of a sudden because of Micah Parsons being an elite team that's Super Bowl caliber.
Yeah, I'm going to mention this too. It's like everyone talks about like the Packers, like, oh, look how young this roster is. My response to that is like, okay, when are these young guys going to be good? Like Luke Van Ness, Gary, Quay Walker. Like, when are these young guys going to be good? Because you keep talking about how young this team is. All right, when are they going to play to that expectation? Because Luke Van Ness, 2 years in, he's 24 years old. I don't want to assume too much, but like, you're reaching just another guy territory, not first round pick territory. And that's not good enough. Because again, like, let me give the hypothetical. Packers play the Vikings. Vikings have both their tackles healthy, Brian O'Neill and Christian Darrisaw, 2 all-pro level tackles. And let's say Micah Parsons is on Brian O'Neill, which means he'll also have Fries on the right side. And if he's on the left side, he's going against Darrisaw and Donovan Jackson, another first-round offensive guard. So let's say they're double-teamed. Can you trust the rest of your defensive line to go up against a combination of either Darrisaw, Jackson, and Fries, or Fries? What am I blanking on his name? Kelly is the name, center. Kelly, Fries, and O'Neill. Like, again, Gary and Van Ness, very young. Okay, when are you going to get to very good? Because we can talk about being young. Every rookie is young. Every guy that's a year or two off of being drafted is young. When are you going to become that impact player that becomes like integral to a team going for a championship? Because again, I'm going to talk about the Bears again. They got Khalil Mack. They were young. It was like, ooh, this is exciting. Look how good this young team is going to be. They won 0 playoff games.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the history of the Packers and that they have been pretty good, but like you said, it's a lot of youth. And to me, it's too much youth, kind of. But yeah, I don't know. All the Packers fans talking about Reggie White, and I'm like, I don't know about that. He's got a ways to go, but also the Packers were not in the position. They were in a much better position when they acquired Reggie White than they did when they acquired Micah Parsons today.
Yeah, let me just check something real quick to kind of like give credence to that. Reggie White, he joined the Packers in '93. By that point, it was a year after Brett Favre had, started, and he made a Pro Bowl in '92. And then Brett Favre went on to win 3 straight MVPs and a Super Bowl. Like, yeah, it was great to get Reggie White, and Reggie White is one of the best defensive players of all time. Don't get me wrong. But, like, you had a quarterback that won 3 straight MVPs, and, like, the reason they won the Super Bowl was because they had Brett Favre. Reggie White was great in the year they won the Super Bowl, which was 96, was it? 96? Yep. Yeah, 96. In 1996, Reggie White had 8.5 sacks, the second lowest of his career. Same season, 96, Brett Favre, 39 passing touchdowns, league MVP. First team All-Pro, Super Bowl. Like, again, like, if you're looking at this going, oh, it's Reggie White, you got to realize, okay, you won that Super Bowl in '96 because Brett Favre was the best quarterback in the world. Like Jordan Love needs to be the best quarterback in the world if you want to recreate that.
Yeah, and we haven't seen that.
We haven't.
Right. It hasn't even been close. Has he even been in top 5 MVP voting?
I don't even think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league. I really don't. And this isn't me being, I get it. I'm a division rival fan, so maybe I'm being a little bit of a hater. Like, can we comfortably say he's a top 10 quarterback in the league? I don't know. I don't think he's top 5. I think he's very comfortably not top 5.
Yeah, I agree. Well, moving off of that, there was a bunch of other trades, much lower level trades, but a lot of O linemen getting moved. The first one, though, quarterback Kenny Pickett. Oh my gosh! I mean, I feel so bad for Kenny Pickett, dude. Like, how he can never settle down. Like, just don't unpack the boxes, Kenny, because I mean, you never know. My man's been traded 4 times in the last 2 years.
He's got a Super Bowl ring. I mean, he'll take it.
And he got traded twice already this year.
Dude, going for the trifecta, man.
Or I guess he's only been traded 3 times, right? Steelers to the Eagles, Eagles to the Browns, Browns to the Raiders.
Yeah.
But still, twice this year is wild. Raiders, though, getting a new backup for Geno Smith. Kenny Pickett goes to Vegas. Browns get a 26th, 5th. I mean, that's a great value for the Browns. They traded Dorian Thompson-Robinson and 26 6, or was it 5? Yeah,
it was
5.
a 5th. So they gave up on DTR and moved back maybe, let's be honest,
Right.
3-4 spots in the 5th round.
Right. Yeah, and well, yeah, I mean, I think it's great value for the Browns, and for the Raiders, it's stupid. I mean, for one, because of the value, but for 2, Aiden O'Connell, yes, he is out with a fractured wrist. Yes, that is 6 weeks maybe. So I understand. You don't want just Cam Miller as your backup. But I don't know. I think there were better options. There were plenty of quarterbacks that got cut that were our veterans that could have easily serviced for free for no draft pick compensation.
Yeah,
you look at
the guy that immediately comes to mind is Brett Rippon. Like, is Brett Rippon that much worse than Kenny Pickett? I don't think so.
Yeah, I was thinking Easton Stick. Easton Stick played very well in the preseason for the Falcons. So yeah, I mean that would have been a guy.
2 guys right there.
All right. By the way, Boise State is still dog shit. 17-7 USF scored.
Ooh.
NC State has opened it up real quick. 17-0. The Wolfpack. Mizzou has scored 7-0, almost about to be, and then Oklahoma State has scored. They are up 7-0. All right, next one, Colts acquiring corner Micah Blackman from the Vikings for a 26th, 6th rounder. You got it.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I was a big fan of Micah Blackman when we drafted him in 3rd round from USC. But he was coming off a torn ACL last training camp. And he recovered 2023. Yeah. No, 2024.
I thought it was 23.
No, it was 24. 23 was when he got drafted. He did play his rookie year, I want to say, yeah. Or if he had 2 injuries, I can't remember. But anyway, but he came back to camp, and he had preseason with the Vikings, and I watched a lot of it. I wasn't really impressed with him. I mean, I think the Vikings just kind of saw the writing on the wall with Micah Blackman. Either the injuries were more severe and something's wrong with his lateral movement, or he's not figuring it out. getting something for a guy you don't really believe in makes sense. For the Colts, you get a guy that could be decent depth. You know, he could play on special teams if you need, a body there. I don't think this is a guy that should be expected to even be a rotational cornerback day one. I think you should look at him and be like, okay, maybe that torn ACL was causing him to miss a step. Maybe he needs more time in the lab, and he should be on special teams until further notice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I get it for the Colts. Colts needed some depth in the corner room there, and definitely get it with upside player in Blackman there. The Browns involved in another trade. They acquire offensive tackle KT Leviston from the Rams for a 2028 seventh. Yeah, I mean, it's a very low risk trade there for Cleveland, and depth tackle is something they were looking at. So, yeah, makes a ton of sense there, I think. And the Rams get a surefire Hall of Famer with a 2028 seventh round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to that, the Falcons getting offensive tackle Michael Jarrell from the Seahawks for a 2027 seventh. Yeah, it's the same thing. Big news out of Atlanta that they lost right tackle Caleb McGarry for the season. So needed some depth for sure. And especially because it's a weird situation in Atlanta. One of only 2 starting quarterbacks in the league as a left-hander. The right tackle is your blind side. So you need right tackle help in Atlanta badly. And so Michael Jarrell will be able to step in and help the depth there for the Falcons. Former 6th round pick, I believe, just 2 years ago. I can't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago. My goodness. Boise State has another 4th down. This is bad, man. They are easily going to get booted out of the top 25. Even if they win, I would say they get dropped. I mean, it's not good. I mean, South Florida is a team that I had finishing 6th in the AAC at 6-6. Boise State, meanwhile, I had them running the table 11-1, and potentially making another CFP there. Actually, I did have them, I believe, as my 12th seed in the CFP as the Group of 5 champion. So yeah, it hasn't been good. They wanted to prove that they are more than just Ashton Genty, and they are not proving that right now. Bowling Green, how about the Falcons? They are up 17-0. I think Mizzou went for 2 because they're only up 6-0. It says still. So, yeah. Rutgers getting started the second half up 14. The Saints, they got some tackle help. They got offensive tackle Asim Richards and a 2028 7th from the Cowboys for a 2028 6th. So again, similar as these backup offensive tackles, a lot of them got moved. It was wild the amount of backup tackles that got traded right before the cut down. Asim Richards also, like Michael Jarrell. Jarrell was a 7th rounder. I think Asim Richards was a 5th rounder 2 years ago for Dallas. And pretty good, versatile player, can play inside and outside. And Saints, another team that very much needed the offensive line depth with some injuries up front, and got that in Richards there. The Chargers, they got off tackle Austin DeCoulis from the Texans for a conditional 2027 7th. So, again, same story. You need depth. And DeCoulis is a guy I don't like as much as some of the other ones, but Chargers with Slater going down, they were looking for depth as well. By the way, who actually likes the new ESPN app? Not that big of a fan, I gotta say. The Jags, they got wide receiver depth, getting wide receiver Tim Patrick from the Lions for a 2026 6th rounder. How do you see that in the NFC North lens there for Detroit? Is it good value?
I think it's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the thing with these kind of trades is like, I was talking to someone on Twitter, probably about the trade we're going to talk about later involving the Minnesota Vikings. It's like, sure, you can get good value, especially on like day 3 picks, but like, if you fuck up that pick and get someone that doesn't work out, then like, who gives a shit? You know?
Yeah, I think Patrick's a guy. I think it's a really good trade for the Jags because Patrick's a guy that has been really good throughout his career. Injuries aside, he was good. Started his career with Broncos, right? If I remember that correctly.
Yes, yeah, he was
Broncos, and then went to the Lions after the ACLs. And has really been a really good player, depth piece for Detroit, and sort of the similar situation that he's going to go to in Jacksonville, where they have their top guys already set with Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter and Parker Washington. But yeah, I think Patrick's a good guy. It also gives them size.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have a ton of size there in Jacksonville, so. Patrick, I believe he's 6'4", 6'5", something like that, and can give them Trevor Lawrence, big body there. And then, the last one, talk about your Vikings getting a familiar face here. Wide receiver Adam Thielen, a conditional 26 7th and 27 5th. Panthers get a 26 5th and a 27 4th. Go ahead.
Well, we're both big fans of both teams involved. And I think this is a great trade for both teams. I think someone took the math and they were like, the Panthers got the equivalent in terms of value of like a conditional 4th round pick, which makes sense. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of where the value was. And I like the trade as a Viking fan, with Addison being out for the first 4 weeks, Naylor having a bit of an injury, concern of his hand, and then Ty Felton still being a rookie, kind of figuring out where he belongs. Vikings just needed another reliable target. And why not bring back a guy that you've known for most of his career? And even when he left to go to Carolina, a team that was, not good, he still produced really well for a mid-30s wide receiver. Like, he's not a blazing over-the-top wide receiver like he kind of used to be. But, like, he can get separation. You can trust him along the sidelines. Like, he made some really good catches for the Carolina Carolina Panthers. And he was someone that I could tell, and I'm sure you could tell watching Panthers, that both Andy Dalton and Bryce Young really trusted when they just needed a completion. And that's what Adam Thielen's going to do. And that's something I think a young quarterback like J.J. McCarthy needs. It's great to have Addison and Justin Jefferson. Obviously, these guys are, absolute ballers. They're really good, wide receivers, and you got TJ Hawkinson as well. But like, you need a safety blanket. You need the guy that's like, hey, I just need you to catch this ball. And Adam Thielen will absolutely do that for you. So I think this is a win-win. I think the Panthers got really good value for a wide receiver that, maybe has 1 year left on the, productive, coil. And for the Vikings, that's all you need. You really just need a productive wide receiver for 1 year, and that's what Thielen will provide. And Thielen seems really happy to be back. I was following along on social media. His wife and his children were really happy to go back to Minnesota. He spoke to the media today. He was very happy to be back here. So I think this is I think it's my favorite trade. in terms of value for both sides of the trades we saw this weekend. Panthers got 2 really good draft picks. Vikings got a really good wide receiver and a couple draft picks as well to even out value. I really like this trade for both sides.
Yeah, I like it for the Panthers. They got solid value. Yeah, they were looking for a fourth. Vikings didn't have a fourth rounder in this upcoming draft, so they had to get creative, get a package of picks. It's similar to what they did with the Christian McCaffrey trade, where it equaled out to a first round pick for CMC. But yeah, I like it. I mean, the Panthers, it's definitely taking away some leadership, but for a guy that they obviously wasn't in their future on the last year of his deal, older guy, to get picks that you can use later to eventually what you hope is help Bryce Young. That's what you need to do. So I like it by Dan Morgan there. Good value. All right. NFL news. Saints name their starter. It is QB Spencer Rattler, which kind of knew was coming. He had had the better play of all the quarterbacks in the preseason and made a ton of sense there. Duke kicking a field goal. They're up 3-0 on Elon. Big fourth down here for Boise in close in the red zone, or they're close to it. They're a couple yards out, but need it. Down 10, under 3 to go in the third quarter. Texans. How about safety Jimmy Ward placed on the commissioner's exempt list? I didn't even know what had happened to him, and that's a terrible throw. What the? Like that was it was not even close, bro. Like it's 4th and 2. You got to put it on the guy. And actually, I don't know why the Boise didn't just kick the field goal. You would have got down 7. That doesn't make any sense to me. And he had a tight end wide open that he could have fired one into on a stick route. So I don't. Yeah, it's Boise's done. I mean, they're done. Like maybe they win 11 in a row. That would include a win against Notre Dame at Notre Dame. So that'd be cool, but probably not. So yeah, I mean, unless they come back, I don't see it. And lost me a lot of shekels. I was very confident in Boise State. Anyways, yeah, Jimmy Ward. I didn't even know anything about this. And I still don't really. I didn't look into it because of everything else going on. Do you know anything about Jimmy Ward right now?
I haven't seen anything so far.
Yeah, but he's on the commissioner's exempt list. Something I talked about with the Rashee Rice situation. And yeah, can't practice, can't attend games. So he's out of the facility currently. Speaking of, Rashee Rice officially suspended for the first 6 games of the season, violating the league's personal conduct policy. So there are some big games that Rashee Rice will be out. That includes a game against the Eagles, Super Bowl rematch there. And I can't recall the rest of the Chiefs games that he will be out. But, yeah, it's a big loss for Patrick Mahomes and this Chiefs offense, hoping to get their offense back on track after a down year last season. And Boise State is totally unraveling. I mean, they just got hit with a deep shot after a pass interference penalty on defense, and it's done. It's done. 1 quarter to go. Might as well not even play it. I mean, that's easy money right there. That's very bad defense, and USF is completely rolling. 24-7. My gosh. This is it's college football, I guess. Sure. Why not?
Oh yeah.
Why not? I hate it here. Anyways. Rivalry unis got announced today. 8 teams getting them. The NFC West and the AFC East. I don't know why they picked those 2 divisions. Because I don't know. I mean, I think there are other divisions that have more bitter rivalries. Like the NFC West, I definitely think is good ones. The 49ers, Seahawks, and Rams. I don't really consider the Cardinals, unfortunately.
You
Like,
just haven't been good enough to really like
right,
compete.
right. And I mean, for the AFC East, I think the Bills and the Patriots. The Dolphins, I feel like, get beat by the Bills all the time, and the Jets just suck. But the Jets and the Patriots is a pretty good rivalry as well. But dude, I'm thinking the North in both conferences. Very, very good rivalries there.
I think next year they're doing the NFC North and the AFC South. I think they announced that.
Well, the AFC South sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it's terrible. But this is here it is. I don't have all the names of the jerseys there. But I like the Bills. The Bills are pretty solid. They're all white kind of thing there. The Rams is okay. It's like I usually like black jerseys. The Rams one is for me. I do like the 49ers. They're black, but I love the like gold accents on the numbers there. Those I really like those. They're probably my favorite ones out of all of them.
Yeah, I think 49ers, I would say probably Arizona, probably are the better ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get it. They're just trying to make more money, sell more jerseys. But like, yeah, Seahawks are fine.
Seahawks trying to get into the Oregon vibe there.
Yeah, I kind of see that like Pacific Northwest vibe.
Oh, I didn't see the Dolphins helmets. Ooh.
Yeah, they do like black, like the orange accent and the green stripe.
I kind of like the Dolphins. Oh, yeah, there it is. I like that one, man. Tyreek looks good on that. Although Jalen Waddle's going to lead the Dolphins in receiving this year. But just saying.
Is it weird that I think it kind of looks like a Seattle Sea Dragons jersey?
No.
Yeah. It really does.
Is it blue? That's what they were going for, though. It's called Deep Sea, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a navy blue kind of thing there. Okay, whatever. Bunch of guys going on IR. Dolphins have a kicker issue. Jason Sanders on IR with a hip injury. Couple rookies. Maxwell Hairston, corner for the Bills. Will Howard for the Steelers, and Dante Kent as well. Joe Mixon. How about Joe Mixon for Texans? May not play this year at all. GM Nick Caserio said. That's wild. Walter Nolan, the rookie first rounder for the Cards, placed on the PUP list. He'll be out the first 4. Other injuries to monitor as we come. Actually, literally right now, 8:15, 8:16 Eastern. I don't remember if the opener's 8:15, 8:30. Usually NBC games are at 8:15, but it's on Peacock, I believe. I don't know. Anyways, we're a week out. that's what the thing is. Week out here. So injuries to monitor coming up. Week 1. The Titans will not have running back Tajay Spears. He's out the first 4. High ankle sprain there. Dolphins expect Devon Achane to be ready, though, for week 1. Jalen Wright, he had a procedure. He is out multiple weeks, though, so it's going to be, looks like rookie running back Ollie Gordon is going to be the main backup there in Miami. Chargers running back Najee Harris, eye injury, may play week 1 potentially. Broncos dealing with wide receiver Marvin Mims. He had a groin injury in practice. Jags rookie wideout corner Travis Hunter is going to play week 1. And the Panthers, potential injury there, offensive tackle Ike Ekwonu. He is day-to-day with after he had an emergency appendectomy. And that should have been a targeting. The second one that the refs did not call tonight on USF. That is wild how a player gets his helmet knocked off and no call. Okay, I guess it wasn't. Extensions. Kyle Hamilton getting paid 4 years, $100.4 million extension, $82 million guaranteed there for Kyle Hamilton, highest paid safety by a lot. He surpassed, I can't remember who it was, but yeah, he is by far the highest paid safety now in the league and one of the top paid players in all of defense in the NFL. So, yeah, deserving for sure.
Definitely.
The Packers, they signed the long snapper Matt Orzik to a 3-year, $4.8 million. He becomes the third highest paid long snapper in the NFL. Don't ask me who the top 2 are because I have no clue.
Andrew DePaula. I think. I won't be surprised.
Dolphins finally making a move. They finally have a corner. They signed Bills corner Rasul Douglas to a 1-year, $3 million deal there. That's big time for Miami. They needed a corner badly, and Rasul Douglas is going to step in, easily be the number 1, I believe. A couple other lower level signings there. Your boy Dalton Reisner getting signed by the Bengals today.
He stinks.
Colts working out some linebackers, Anthony Walker Jr., Kaiser White. Dolphins worked out a bunch of kickers, but signed Riley Patterson to be their guy going forward. And I don't know how Elon is moving the ball right now on Duke. That's craziness. I mean, it's all craziness right now. Like, what is this Thursday college football? I don't know what's happening. I'm lost, Jimmy, and I'm lost. Everything's going wrong. I think Micah Parsons broke everything.
Damn it. All the Dallas Cowboy fans are breaking everything.
College football picks. Okay, so I didn't have time to get this slideshow done. So we're just going to...
We're going to wing it.
We're going to wing it.
Lightning round.
Yeah. So tomorrow, Western Illinois at number 12, Illinois. Illinois getting 45 points. I am just hammering Illinois 45. You know me. Just drilling that one down. Total 63.5, 7:30 on Peacock. Yeah, Illinois is going to win. They should. I mean, I don't know. Western Illinois, they might come out and stun everyone. Who knows? Big one, Auburn and Baylor tomorrow. Auburn at Baylor. The Tigers getting 2.5. Totals 58.5. I like Baylor in that one. Who did you pick?
I picked Illinois.
Auburn and Baylor.
Oh, Auburn, Baylor. Sorry. I thought we were still on there. I was answering a text. Auburn, Baylor. I think. Let me double check. I picked Auburn.
All right. So did Logan. That means down the alarm. I am Wolf and the Baylor Bears. Maybe you should get a bear sound on there for the bear teams. Yeah, 8 p.m. on Fox. Georgia Tech at Colorado. Yellow Jackets getting 4.5. 51.5 is the total there. That one's 8 p.m. on ESPN. I like Georgia Tech. So does Logan.
So do I. I took Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I just don't believe in Colorado this year. I think I had them with 4 wins on the Big 12 preview. And Georgia Tech, I think, is still going to be pretty good. They return Haynes King, one of the better quarterbacks in the ACC this year. So, and they have a stout defense as well, stout running game. The next one here, I don't think we picked UNLV Sam Houston. So,
No, we did.
Oh, we did.
I had UNLV.
Okay. I did too. So did Logan. Okay. I do think Sam Houston covers though. 9.5 for the Rebels. 61.5 is the total. UNLV is 1-0. Sam Houston's 0-1. I mean, if it's like we saw last week, I mean, Dan Mullen doesn't have a freaking defense, right? Hunter Watson's a veteran quarterback for the Bearcats, and it's at home at Sam Houston. I think Sam Houston can keep up with UNLV offensively. If it's going to be a shootout, I have to think that Sam Houston's going to run the clock with their good ground game that they have, and I think they'll be able to stay within 9 points there.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of staying within, how about the Ohio Bobcats? That is a beautiful throw and catch. They are inside the 15-yard line. They're going to tie the game here. Almost under 5 to go in the third. Saturday, it's the big one. Starting off noon Eastern on Fox. Big noon kickoff. Number 1, Texas. Number 3, Ohio State in the shoe in Columbus. Who did you pick?
Of course, I went OSU.
Mm-hmm. Well, hook 'em, baby.
Oh.
You are a lone wolf. Look, Arch Manning has played football, right? He's played in college games already. Julian Sayin has not. Julian Sayin has never started a game. And Arch has played a bunch of snaps last year. So I'm going with the more experienced guy, although it is little experience. He has more experience than Julian Sayin. And although it's at home, I think Texas is the better team. Obviously, they're going to have a hard time covering Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. But I just think Texas is the better team. And defensively, they are going to force Julian Sayin into some mistakes. I think Ohio State lost a lot more key pieces than Texas did in the draft, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Losing Jim Knowles hurt as well. So that's why I'm going with Texas.
Well, I'm going to stick with Ohio State. I think coming off a national championship, starting the season at home, big national TV presence. I think this is a game they definitely want to win. Maybe people are thinking about like, oh yeah, Ohio State beat Texas last year, so there's going to be revenge there.
Oh yeah.
I know Arch Manning has played. I just think it's such a big stage. Ryan Day has always had such a stout defensive unit. Like that's something Ohio State has always valued. And I know they lost a lot of guys in the offseason, like Sawyer and Tuamau and a ton of others, depth defensive guys. But I mean, it's next man up. Ohio State has continuously recruited super well and keeps a really good depth chart. And I think they really still do have a roster. And I really believe in their young quarterback. I mean, they won a national championship with Will Howard, the guy that got there that year, got there last year and then won a national championship. I don't worry too much about bringing a new guy. It was like the other guy was a new guy. He won a national championship. So I'm not overly concerned about that. It's hard to beat the champs. You're the champs if you're not, and playing at home, the crowd is going to be very energetic. You're hosting. You're probably going to have a big celebration at the beginning of the game. It's going to get everyone really pumped up. I think this is a tough game for Ohio State to lose. So I obviously I have to pick them.
It's a 1.5-point favorite for the Buckeyes. 47.5 total there. I'm leaning on the under.
Mm-hmm.
Syracuse at number 24, Tennessee in Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Vols getting 13.5, 50.5 is total there. I like Tennessee here, as does everyone, I have to believe.
Mm-hmm. I picked Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, Syracuse, there's too many question marks. For one, I forget who their starting quarterback is this year. It's not Kyle McCord, though, who threw for over 4,000 yards last year and had a really great season. They lost a lot at that position. So I think Syracuse takes a step back. And the Volunteers, on the other hand, Joey Aguilar starting there, getting his first action for Tennessee. So, yeah, they should have a good game there. 12 p.m. on ABC. The next one we have up here is Old Dominion at number 20, Indiana. The Hoosiers getting 23.5 at home, and they might cover that. I don't know. Old Dominion has lost a lot, but as I'll talk about in the Sun Belt preview later, I don't know. I think that IU is reloaded and Kurt Cignetti's ready to get those boys back going again. And Fernando Mendoza might be the real deal. I know a lot of people like him as a sleeper this year in the draft, maybe a riser throughout this season here. Yeah, Logan picked Indiana. 2:30 on FS1. Let's get to the big 3:30 slate here. I will be not watching games because I will be at the Georgia Marshall game. But before that, Nevada at number 2, Penn State. Penn State getting 43.5. I don't know if they will cover. They probably should. Nevada is not a very good team. I think I had them going 2-10 this year, maybe even 1-11. They are not very good at all. So Penn State should wreck everything. 55.5 total. I lean on the over. By the way, Ohio has tied it in Piscataway. They have come back from 14 points down. It is 31-31, 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Boise State, meanwhile, they just let up another touchdown. They are getting absolutely demolished against USF. 31-7 it's about to be. Holy shit. 3:30 on CBS Paramount Plus for that Penn State game. Marshall at number 5, Georgia. Like I said, UGA getting 38.5. They will not cover. More than likely, they will not cover. Georgia has a thing about not covering big spreads. I don't know why they don't, but yeah, they usually do not cover big spreads in these kind of games. So, but Marshall lost a ton, and we'll see. Total's 53.5. I lean on the over. 3:30 on ESPN. Everyone picked Georgia and Penn State, by the way. Number 8, Alabama at Florida State. 13.5 for the Tide. Logan is on Bama. I am on Bama. And Jimmy is on Bama as well. So it's going to be a close spread, I think, but Bama should cover that potentially. 49.5 total there. I lean on the over. 3:30 ABC. South Dakota, the Coyotes at number 22, Iowa State, coming back from Ireland. I like Iowa State in this one, but I do not like the 16.5. Aiden Bauman is a really good quarterback for the Coyotes in this one. Although Iowa State defensively is solid, I think that they might cover this one, to be honest. 16.5. 46.5 is total. Lean on the over. Looking like under, but I might go over there. 3:30 on Fox. Everyone is on Iowa State. Montana State at number 7, Oregon. The Ducks. probably a big spread here. ESPN's not showing any betting statistics for this game, but I'm sure it's a big spread. Montana State, look, they are your number 2 FCS ranked team here in week 1. Would not be shocked to see Montana State give Oregon something to look at, sort of like Idaho did last year. But Oregon should win that one, and I don't think Montana State's going to be as good as last year without Tommy Mellott at quarterback and some of their other players. So go Ducks in that one. 4 p.m. on a Big Ten network. Everyone on the Ducks there. Illinois State at number 18, Oklahoma. The Sooners, big-time favorites, I'm assuming there. No spread on ESPN as well. I'm interested to look at John Mateer, see what he looks like, that Sooners' new offense as well. So, love Oklahoma in that one, as is everyone else. Illinois State, 6th-ranked FCS team. 6 p.m. ESPN Plus, SEC Network Plus. Long Island at number 15, Florida. The Gators, big favorites, no spread listed currently. So, they should roll Long Island, I would assume. Big time favorites there. 7 p.m. ESPN Plus, SEC Network Plus. North Dakota, the Fighting Hawks, they are not ranked. I'm kind of surprised they are not ranked in the FCS stats poll top 25. But at number 17, Kansas State. Kansas State coming back from Ireland. They should win that one handily against UND there. 7 p.m. ESPN Plus. UTSA at number 19, Texas A&M. A&M getting 22.5 on that. I'm interested to see what Marcel Reed looks like. Owen McCown, though, for the Roadrunners, might have something to say. Plus 6.5 first quarter. I like that one. Texas A&M should, though, I think, cover the spread eventually. 7 p.m. on ESPN. And the big one on Saturday night, number 9 LSU, number 4 Clemson. I love Clemson in this game. Trying to see. Jimmy is going with LSU. Logan is going with see what Logan picked here. Clemson. So Jimmy is lone wolfing LSU here. Look, I picked Clemson to win the national championship, and it's going to start on Saturday night there. I really believe in the Tigers, and the Clemson Tigers, I should say, over the LSU Tigers, just because on both sides of the ball, Clemson is very solid. Cade Klubnik coming into his own last season, going to take even another step this year with wide receiver Antonio Williams at the helm there. The defense is just stout, and Garrett Nussmeier is going to have a hard time passing and running on this defense. So I like Clemson, as does Logan. Jimmy is on LSU, but it should be a fascinating game there in Clemson's Death Valley. 4.5 for Clemson, 57.5 is total. I am leaning on the over there. 7:30 on ABC. New Mexico, John's Lobos at number 14, Michigan. Wolverines getting 34.5 in that one. I lean Michigan 34.5. I just don't believe in New Mexico this year. Sorry, John. I just don't think they'll be able to compete in the big house. 49.5 is total, though. I lean on the under. 7:30 NBC and Peacock. Arkansas Pine Bluff at number 23, Texas Tech. Tech, I'm sure, is big favorites there. I like Tech, though. I think they should roll. Bevy of transfers for the Red Raiders and Joey McGuire there in the top 25 preseason, and they should be very, very good, I think, this season, the Red Raiders. So 7:30 p.m. ESPN Plus. Georgia State at number 21, Ole Miss. The Rebs getting 34.5 there. Yeah, Ole Miss should have pretty good night against the Panthers. And Austin Simmons getting his first start there for Hottie Toddy. 61.5 total. I lean on the over. 7:45 p.m. SEC Network. East Texas A&M at number 16 SMU, 50.5 for the Mustangs here. I do not expect them to cover that. That is just ridiculous. I don't care who they are. Total is 63.5. I lean on the over, probably buy the half to get to 63. 9 p.m. ACC Network. Northern Arizona at number 11, Arizona State. Sun Devils, probably a big favorite there. They should roll NAU quite easily there. 10 p.m. ESPN Plus. Utah at UCLA. This is an interesting one. Utah getting 5.5 on the road. I think that I am on the Utes. It's going to be a difficult one. Logan is going with Nico Iamaleava with UCLA. Jimmy is with me on Utah. So Logan is lone wolfing the Bruins at home. And Nico Iamaleava as Bruin. Sure, it's going to be a very difficult game, but I think Kyle Whittingham is a seasoned veteran. I think they have the coaching advantage for sure over Deshaun Foster. And the defense also, Karene Reed there, I really like him. The Utah defense, I think, will give Nico some problems and probably get some pass rush on him as well. Oh my goodness, that is the epitome of the night for Boise State. 4th down, need it, down 24 points. 3rd turnover of the game. Maddox Madsen just drops the ball, fumbles as he's rolling out to the right. I mean, that's terrible. I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, Boise State is very bad, very, very, very bad. Yeah. Colorado State at Washington. The Huskies getting 21.5 at home. I lean on the Rams, though, plus 21.5. I really think that CSU is a good program this year, especially Braden Fowler Nicolosi returning as a starting quarterback. You know, Jed Fish is a good coach and he's building his program up at Washington there. But I think that CSU is going to give them something. We're all on Washington, which I think is the right move, but to win the game. But I think CSU is going to cover there. On Sunday, we have a couple games. Virginia Tech at number 13, South Carolina. I believe we are all on South Carolina there. I think they should be really good, and it's a big point spread, sort of 7.5 for the Gamecocks. You know, I think that SC should be able to cover that, maybe by the half to get the 7 even there. 51.5 is the total there. I am leaning on the under because of the Brent Pry defense and the South Carolina defense as well. 3 p.m. on ESPN. And the late game, top 10 matchup, number 6 Notre Dame at number 10 Miami. 2.5 for the Irish. And that is who I am picking. I just do not believe in the Carson Beck hype. Jimmy also on Notre Dame. And as is Logan. So it's a sweep of the Irish here. Defense, I'm not sure on CJ Carr, but what I am sure about is this Marcus Freeman defense against Carson Beck. I think the running game as well, they're going to try to shorten the game. Jeremiah Love. And this O-line should still be pretty good there for Notre Dame. So I think they can win that one. Even at Hard Rock. 49.5 is the total there. I'm leaning on the under 7:30 ABC. And then we got a game on Monday. TCU, the Horned Frogs, getting 3.5 on the road at UNC. I believe Logan is on UNC. I am on TCU, though. Not sure what Jimmy's on either. But anyways, believe that I am lone wolfing TCU. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna say I'm lone. I like TCU. I think they're a sleeper in the Big 12 this year. Josh Hoover at quarterback for the Horned Frogs. I think it's going to be very good. Gio Lopez was good at South Alabama. Step up in competition here with UNC. Can they gel in game one? I'm not so sure. I think Sonny Dykes and the TCU team go into Chapel Hill and into Bank of America Stadium and win that one there against UNC. All right, let's get to the college football Sunbelt preview here. Southern Miss last in the West last year, 1-11, 0-8, but there's plenty of optimism here. They got a new head coach. It's Charles Huff coming over from Marshall. Lost his quarterback Tate Rodemaker, went to West Carolina. Ethan Crawford went to Arkansas State. Running back Rodriguez Clark is gone. Kenyon Clay went to Arkansas State. Wide receiver Larry Simmons to Utah. Ty Mims to Texas State. Dennis Jackson is gone. As is linebacker Trey Pinkney, Jalen Sims, Desmond Baker, Dylan Lawrence. Defensive back Will James went to Houston. Defensive back Quay McNeil went to Stephen F. Austin. Safety Jay Jones is gone. Kicker Connor Gibbs went to Auburn. Key returning quarterback John White, tight end Kieran Heath, interior D lineman Broderius Lewis, linebacker Chris Jones. Transfers. Mentioned head coach Charles Huff there. Quarterback Braylon Braxton from Marshall. Quarterback Jacoby Robinson from Boston College. Running back Matt Jones from Ole Miss. Robert Briggs Jr. from Utah State. Wide receiver Elijah Metcalf from Marshall. Grant Page from Utah State. Micah Davis from Ole Miss. Braylon Brown from Marshall. Chuck Montgomery from Marshall. Carl Chester from Marshall. Tight end Caden Morris from Western Michigan. Off the tackle Hayes Creel from McNeese State. Christian Anderson from Alabama A&M. RJ Whitehead from UTEP. Guards Aaron Parks, South Carolina. Oluwalei Maui from Utah State. Jez Hanvier, Eastern Michigan. Centers Broderick Roman from Eastern Michigan. Cooper Frazier from Samford. Interior D-line, Jaden McKinney from UTEP. Isaiah Gibson Sr. from Marshall. Edge rushers, J.J. Hawkins and Jabari Ishmael from Marshall. Linebacker, Michael Montgomery from Portland State. Corners, Josh Moten, Ishmael Ibrahim, Anthony Richard Jr. from Marshall. Safety, Josh Battle from Chattanooga. Corey Myrick, Miracek from Marshall. Ian Foster, Amir Foster from Marshall. Safety Dominic Hill from Liberty. Punter Logan Gregory from West Florida. Kicker Reed Harradine from Grambling. So, yeah, big-time transfer class, new head coach. I like it. I think they are going to be very good. They bring in a lot of those players that just won the Sun Belt Championship with the Marshall Thundering Herd last year. So let's look at the schedule here. Home against Mississippi State. I think that's a loss. They win against Jackson State. They face App State week 3. I think they can win that one. At Louisiana Tech, I think they win. They win against Jacksonville State week 6 bye. Week 7 at Georgia Southern. That's on a Thursday. I think they lose that one. They lose at Louisiana. They win against Louisiana Monroe. Week 10 bye. Win at Arkansas State. They are going to win against Texas State. Win at South Alabama, win against Troy. So it's a 9-3 record for me, potentially worst to first there. And it is a they play 8 conference games, so it's 4 non-conference here. And they are 3-1, so it's a 6-2 conference record for USM. Pretty solid there. Georgia State last in the East last year, 3-9, 1-7 in conference. Quarterback Zach Gibson went to FAU. Running back Freddie Brock IV to Oklahoma State. Michelle Dukes is gone. Savion Wilkerson is gone as well. Dorian Fleming went to Maryland. Petey Tuckey, wide receiver Dorian Fleming to Maryland. Petey Tuckey, Colorado State. Linebacker Xavier Robinson, Kevin Swint, corner Gavin Pringle, all gone. Corner Isaiah Guy to USF. Defensive back Jai Gilmore, Georgia Tech. Defensive back Jamaric Morris to Virginia. Safeties Jeremiah Johnson, NC State. And Kenyatta Watson II is gone. They return quarterback Christian Veilleux, wide receivers Ted Hurst, DJ Riles, guard Mason Cook, center Alex Johnson, interior D-line Henry Bryant, linebacker Josiah Robinson, kicker Liam Rickman. The big, decent-sized transfer class for the Panthers here. Quarterback Cameron Brown from Texas Tech. Running backs Branson Robinson from UGA. Rashad Amos from Memphis. Wide receivers Javon Robinson from Grambling. Leo Blackburn from Georgia Tech. Jalen Marshall from Shorter. Tight end Camden Overton Howard from Gardner-Webb. Offensive tackles Darrell Bailey Jr., ETSU. Obadiah Obasuyi, NC State. Guards Jeff Burton, Kent State. DeAndre Dufus from Maryland. Center Tyler Williams from Akron. Edge rusher Marlon Dean from Utah State. Corners Bernard Causey from LSU. Tyler Scott from Auburn. Safety Jordan Huff from ECU. Schedule for the Panthers. Week 1 at number 21 Ole Miss. They lose. I think they're going to lose against Memphis. They win against Murray State. Lose again at Vanderbilt. Week 5 bye. James Madison, I think they lose. I'm going to have them lose against App State. Lose at Georgia Southern. They win against South Alabama on a Thursday. Week 10 bye. I'm going to have them win at Coastal Carolina. Win against Marshall. At Troy, I'm going to have them win that one. I'm going to lose at Old Dominion. It is a 5-7 record for me for the Georgia State Panthers. Non-conference here, they go 1-3, so it's a 4-4 conference slate. Troy Trojans, 6th in the West last year, 4-8, 3-5 in conference. Losses: quarterback Matthew Caldwell went to Texas. Running backs Damian Taylor to Ole Miss. Gerald Green is gone. Wide receivers Devontae Ross to Penn State. Landon Parker, Zariah Beeson are gone. Tight end Brody Dalton to Alabama. Off tackle Daniel King to UNC. Defensive lineman Philip Lee to Arkansas. Linebacker Brendan Jackson. Corner Demaje Yancey, both gone. Corner LJ Green to Tulane. Defensive back Ian Connerly Goodley to Southeastern Louisiana. Returning, quarterbacks Goose Crowder, Tucker Kilcrease, wide receiver Peyton Higgins, guards Eli Russ, Matt Henry, linebacker Jordan Stringer, safeties Justin Poe, Devin Lafayette, punter Evan Crenshaw, and kicker Scott Taylor Renfro. Transfers, some big-time offensive pieces for Goose Crowder. Running back Trey Cooley from Georgia Tech, wide receiver Ra Thomas from Georgia, Trey Taylor from Coastal Carolina, Christian Tate from Delaware State. Off the tackles, Garner Langlow from App State, Patrick Screws Jr. from Georgia Tech, center Vyson Lang from Tennessee, edge rushers Elijah Davis from South Carolina, Talik Robbins from Houston, corners Kaleno Levine from Missouri State, Jaquez White from Washburn, safety David Daniel Sisavon from Georgia. For Troy, schedule sets up like this. They win at home against Nichols week 1, at number 4 Clemson. They lose that one. They lose against Memphis. At Buffalo, I'm going to have them lose that one as well. Buffalo Bulls, difficult team to go against there. Week 5 bye at home against South Alabama. I'm going to have them lose that one. At Texas State, they lose. They win at UL Monroe, lose against Louisiana. I'm going to have them lose against Arkansas State. Week 11 bye. Lose at Old Dominion on a Thursday. They're going to win against Georgia State. Lose at Southern Miss. So it's going to be a bleak year for the Trojans. I have them going 3-9. And it's a 1-3 non-conference slate there. So it's a 2-6 in conference for me. The UL Monroe Warhawks, as USF looks like they are probably going to score again here soon. USF Warhawks, or UL Monroe Warhawks, I should say. 5th in the West last year, 5-7, 3-5 in conference. Quarterback General Booty is in the transfer portal. Running back Ahmad Hardy went to Missouri. James Jones, Delaware State. Taven Curry went to Akron. Wide receiver Devon Wells is gone. Artist Cole went to Rice. Interior O-lineman Carter Miller went to UCF. Linebacker Carl Glass Jr. is gone. Safety Wyatt Williams Jr. went to Ole Miss. Safety Trevor Randall went to Prairie View A&M. Returning quite a bit, actually, for the Warhawks. Quarterback Aiden Armenta. Wide receivers Jake Godfrey, Tyler Griffin, and Javon Campbell. Off tackles Kaleem Croswell, Quay McBroom. Guards Elijah Fisher and Jay Mickle. Center Drew Hutchinson. Interior defensive lineman Cavante Wells. Edge rusher Billy Pullen. Corners David Godsey Jr., Corian Wilson. Safety Carl Fontroy. And kicker Max Larson. Barely any transfers for ULM. Running backs Zach Palmer Smith from Richmond. Braylon McReynolds from South Alabama. Wide receiver Nick Trujillo from New Mexico. Brandon Buckhalter from Western Kentucky. And corner Diarco Perkins McAllister from Chattanooga. Schedule for ULM. They win week 1 against St. Francis. At number 8 Alabama, they lose. Week 3 bye. At UTEP, that's a tough one. I'm gonna have them win though I'm gonna have them win on the road there. They're gonna lose against Arkansas State. Lose at Northwestern. I'm gonna have them win at Coastal Carolina. Win against Troy. Lose at Southern Miss, lose against Old Dominion. Week 11 bye. They're going to win against South Alabama, lose at Texas State, lose at Louisiana. So it's not a bad season, but a 5-7 record for me for ULM. 2-2 at non-conference. So that is a 3-5 conference record. Appalachian State, the Mountaineers, 6th in the East last year, 5-6, 3-5 conference record. Losses, quarterback Joey Aguilar to Tennessee. Running back Amani Marshall is on the Browns. Anderson Castle went to Duke. Wide receivers Caden Robinson went to UCLA. Mekhi Jackson to Indiana. Christian Horn is gone. Defensive lineman Santana Hopper went to Tulane. Edge rushers Nate Johnson to Missouri. Michael Fletcher is gone. Linebacker Brendan Harrington to Georgia Southern. Corner Jason Chambers to West Virginia. And kicker Michael Hughes is gone. Key returning running back Kanye Roberts. Wide receiver Dalton Stroman. Guards Griffin Scroggs, Jaden Ramsey. Center Michael Marotta. Edge rusher Sean Collins. Linebacker Kyle Arnholt. Corner Ethan Johnson. Safeties DJ Burks, Jordan Favors. Kicker Jackson Moore. Transfers. They got a new head coach. Dowell Loggins, South Carolina offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, comes in. He brings in quarterbacks AJ Swan from LSU, JJ Cole from Iowa State. Running backs Rashad Dubinion from Arkansas. Wide receivers Davion Dozier from Arkansas, Jaden Barnes from Austin P. Jackson Greer from Boise State, tight end Isaiah Cummings from Louisville, offensive tackle Shamar Jackson from New Mexico State, Tyreek Poindexter from VMI, Moritz Schmorenzer from Pitt, guard Trent Ramsey from Cal, centers Lance Williams from Virginia Tech, Will Flowers from Valdosta State, interior defensive lineman Rondo Porter from South Carolina, Dylan Manuel from Charleston Southern, St. Farrier, Hampton, edge rusher Joseph Bacol from Chattanooga, linebackers Brayshawn Littlejohn from Mizzou, Brooks Urachek from Arkansas, Ronnie Porter from South Carolina, corners Jaden McBurrows from Michigan, Christian Conyer from Coastal Carolina, safety Dylan Haas from Arkansas. Schedule here for App, week 1 at Charlotte on tomorrow. Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte there. I'm going to have them win that one. They're going to win against Lindenwood week 2. At Southern Miss, they lose. Week 4 bye. At number 25, Boise State, I don't know that looks as hard anymore. If this is how they're going to look all season, I doubt that, though, on the blue turf. This is an away game for them week 1. So lose against Boise State. I'm going to have them lose against Oregon State as well. I think they at Georgia State, they win that one. They're going to win against Coastal Carolina. Loss at Old Dominion, week 10 bye. Home against Georgia Southern on a Thursday. They lose that. They lose at JMU. They win against Marshall, and they win against Arkansas State. It is a 6-6 record for me, 2-2 non-conference, so 4-4 in conference. 34-7. USF is completely rolling. Coastal Carolina, 5th in the East, 6-7, 3-5. In the conference, losses, quarterbacks Ethan Vasco from Liberty. Noah Kim went to Eastern Michigan. Running backs Braden Bennett to Virginia Tech. Christian Washington, San Diego State. Wide receiver Seneca McKee is gone. Wide receiver Trey Taylor went to Troy. Defensive lineman Diamante Diggs went to Florida State. Edge rusher Clev Lubin to Louisville. Linebacker Barry Brown is gone. Corner Matthew McDoom went to Cincinnati. Corner Tobias Fletcher, safety Juan Powell, safety AJ Williams are all gone. Kicker Cade Hensley went to West Virginia. Returning for the Chanticleers, quarterback Tad Hudson, wide receivers Jamison Tucker, Bryson Graves, Cameron Wright, offensive tackles Nick Del Grande, Joseph Hansen, guards Heston Edwards, Anthony Walton, center Zach Elam, linebacker Shane Bruce, punter Emil Sebafundi as well. Transfers, pretty big class for Coastal. Quarterbacks NJ Morris from Maryland, Emmett Brown, San Jose State, running back Jalen John from UMass, wide receivers Colton Hinton from Furman, Carmelo Inglis from West Georgia, offensive tackle Desmond Jackson from UNC, Trey Franklin from South Carolina State, interior defensive lineman Amari Notice from Idaho, edge rushers Darian Henry Young from Kentucky, Zeke Campbell from Louisiana Tech, Noah Arinze from New Mexico State, linebacker Luke Murphy from Eastern Michigan, corners Miles Young from Miami, Jamarian Wayne from Missouri, Lionel Whitaker from Maryland, safeties Jeffrey Ugachukwu from Vanderbilt, Dante Thomas from Kansas State, kicker Keon Afrukta from Nevada. Schedule for Coastal. At Virginia, week 1, they lose. They win against Charleston Southern. I think they win against East Carolina. They're going to lose at South Alabama, week 6 bye, lose at Old Dominion. Win against UL Monroe. Win against lose at App State there. Week 9 bye, win against Marshall on a Thursday. They're going to win against Georgia State, lose at Georgia Southern. Week 13 at number 13, South Carolina, lose, and then they lose against James Madison. So it is a 5-7 record looking like for Coastal Carolina. And non-conference wise, it's going to be a 2-2 non-conference. So that is a 3-5 conference record for the Chanticleers. Old Dominion, the Monarchs, 4th in the East, 5-7, 4-4 for Ricky Ronnie's squad. Losses: quarterback Grant Wilson went to Indiana. Running back Aaron Young is gone. Running back Bryce Duke went to Utah. Wide receivers Isaiah Page, Deontay Vines, both gone. Miles Alston transferred. Wide receiver Demarion Houston is gone. Tight end Pat Conroy is gone. Interior offensive lineman Michael Flores went to Louisville. Defensive lineman Jalen White McLean went to Cincinnati. Denzel Lowry went to Louisville. Corners Rashid Reason went to East Carolina. Dywin Griffin is gone. Safety Jaron Manning went to Mississippi State. Will Jones II went to North Texas, as did Patrick Smith-Young. Safety Marcus Nians. Kicker Ethan Sanchez went to Houston. Returning, quarterbacks Colton Joseph and Quinn Hennicle. Off tackle Zach Barlev, Stephon Dubose-Bourne. Guards Martin Woodsma, Skylar Grant. Edge rusher Chris Trinidad. Linebackers Jason Henderson, Koa Noatala, Mario Thompson, Jaleel Colbreth, corner Angelo Rankin Jr. Small transfer class for ODU. Wide receiver Sidney Mbenasor from Tulane. Off tackle Griffin Duggan from Virginia Tech. Center Ryan Joyce from Fordham. Corner Botros Alessandro from Purdue. Safety Nikendre Steiger from Kansas State. And kicker Riley Callaghan from Southeastern Louisiana. At number 20, Indiana this week. They lose that one. They're going to win against NC Central, lose at Virginia Tech. Week 4 bye. At home against Liberty. I think they lose that one. Lose against Coastal Carolina. They're going to win at Marshall. Lose against James Madison. Lose against App State. Lose at UL Monroe. Week 11 bye. Win against Troy, lose at Georgia Southern, win against Georgia State. So it is a 4-8 record for me for Ricky Ronnie. Just don't believe in the quarterbacks there. And 2-2 or 1-3 non-conference. So it's a 3-5 conference record for me. South Alabama, the Jaguars, 4th in the West last year, 7-6, 5-3 conference record. Losses: quarterback Gio Lopez went to UNC. Running back Fluff Bothwell to Mississippi State. Fullback DJ Thomas Jones is gone, as is wide receiver Jamal Pritchett and Shamar Sandgren. Wide receiver Jeremiah Webb is on the Patriots. Offensive tackle Malachi Carney went to Georgia Tech. Jaden Hobson went to Alabama. Edge rusher Courtney McBride Jr. is gone. Edge Akeel Washington went to SMU. Corner Amarian Fortenberry went to Kansas State. Jordan Scruggs went to West Virginia. Ladarius Webb Jr. went to Wake Forest. Safety Jaden Voisin is gone. Kicker Lath Marjan went to Kansas. Returning, quarterback Bishop Davenport. Running back Kentrell Bullock. Wide receiver Devin Voisin. Off tackle Jordan Davis. Center Malachi Preciado. Edge rusher Tyler Thomas. Linebackers Blaine Murick, Darius McKenzie. Safety Wesley Miller. Punter Alexi Pulkinen. And kicker Davis Little. Transfers, quarterback Zach Pyron comes in from Minnesota. Wide receiver Brendan Jenkins from Samford. Tight end Miller McCrumbie from Arkansas State. Off tackle Levy Johnson from Western Kentucky. Guards Amari Wiggins from Arkansas. Nye Mansell from South Carolina. Interior defensive lineman Steven Johnson from McNeese State. Edge rushers Emmanuel Waller from UAB. Tremont Henry from Southern Miss. Linebacker IBK Mafe from St. Thomas. Corners Javon Henderson from ETSU. Nehemiah Chandler from Georgia Tech. Safeties Anthony Brown from Purdue. Dallas Young from Arkansas. Schedule here for the Jags. Win against Morgan State week 1. They lose against Tulane. Lose at Auburn. I'm going to have them lose against Coastal Carolina. Lose at North Texas. Win at Troy. Week 7 bye. They're going to win against Arkansas State on a Tuesday. Win again at Georgia State on a Thursday. Lose against Louisiana, week 11 bye. Lose at UL Monroe. Lose against Southern Miss. Lose at Texas State. It is a 4-8 record for me for the South Alabama Jaguars. Non-conference, they're going to go 1-3, so it's a 3-5 conference record. Arkansas State, the Red Wolves, third in the West last year, 8-5, 5-3 in conference. Losses: quarterback Timmy McClain went to Bethune-Cookman. Running back Zach Wallace is gone. Wide receiver Courtney Jackson's on the Broncos. Wide receivers Regan Ely and Adam Jones are gone. Interior O-line Mikhailin Thomas went to Virginia. D-lineman Ian Jeffries went to Purdue. Edge rusher Jaden Jones in the transfer portal. Linebackers Marvin Ham, Charles Willikis, corner Jordan Mahoney are all gone. Corner Dante Joyner went to Maryland. Safety Justin Parks and Travion Thomas are gone. Safety Websley Etienne went to FIU. Returning for Arkansas State, quarterback Jalen Rayner, running back Jaquez Cross, wide receiver Corey Rucker, offensive tackles Alaric Watson and Noah Smith, guard Tristan Smith, edge rusher Brian Whitehead, and kicker Clune Van Andel. Big transfer class for the Red Wolves. Quarterback Ethan Crawford from Southern Miss, running back Kenyon Clay from Southern Miss, wide receiver Jalen Benelli from Wagner, Quan Lee from Florida A&M, tight end Tyler Fortenberry from Vanderbilt, guards Will Saxton from Southern Miss, Zuri Madison from Arkansas, Kobe Williams from Memphis, center Gabe Fortson from Tulane, interior defensive lineman Simeon Mitchell from McNeese State, Chris Bodie from Liberty, Gavin Ransaw from Coastal Carolina, linebackers Aaron Alexander from Michigan State, Daniel Demery from Ole Miss, Devontae Mackey from Memphis, Devin Curtis from Mid-Tennessee, corners Avante Dickerson from Utah State, Trenton Allen Yo from App State, Cedric Franklin II from Georgia Tech, safety A.G. McGee from Marshall. And Boise State, it's over, 34-7 upset. Got absolutely hammered by the USF Bulls in Tampa tonight. And I mean, I don't know if anyone saw that kind of performance coming. I mean, that is absolutely wild. What's also wild is Kyle Schwarber has a 4 home run game tonight, and the Phillies are absolutely raking a 18-point night there. So yeah, that's wild. 18 runs for the Philadelphia Phillies tonight. Schedule for Arkansas State. They win at home against Southeastern Missouri. Lose at Arkansas. Lose against number 22 Iowa State. I think they're going to win at Kennesaw State. They're going to win at UL Monroe. Lose against Texas State. Week 7 bye. At South Alabama on a Tuesday. They win that one. They're going to lose against Georgia Southern. Win at Troy. Lose against Southern Miss. Week 12 bye. Lose against Louisiana on a Thursday. And they're going to lose at Appalachian State. It's a 5-7 record for me. 2-2, 3-5 in conference there. Rutgers has won 34-31 over Ohio. Close one there for the Scarlet Knights there. Texas State Bobcats, second in the West last year, 8-5, 5-3 in conference. Losses: quarterback Jordan McLeod is gone. RJ Martinez went to West Texas A&M. Running back Ismail Mahdi went to Arizona. Wide receivers Jaden Williams, Joey Hobart are both gone. Cole Wilson went to Baylor. Offensive tackle Alex Harkey went to Oregon. Defensive lineman Tunmise Adalai went to UNLV. Edge rushers Bryce Bass, Stephen Parker are both gone. Ben Bell went to Virginia Tech. Linebacker James Neal went to Michigan, the Michigan Panthers in the UFL. Linebacker Max Harris went to Arizona. Manny Nunnerly is gone, as is corner Chris Mills. Corner Josh Eaton went to Michigan State. Safety Jordan Polk is on the Patriots. Kicker Mason Shipley went to Texas. Key returning running backs Lincoln Pear, Torrance Burgess Jr., wide receivers Chris Don Jr., Bo Sparks, offensive tackles Dorian Strong, Sully Burns, guard Mika Abigbo, center Talek Lockett, edge rushers Khalil Alexander, Joe Lizon Landry, linebacker Traylon Payne, corner Trez Moore, safeties Ryan Nolan, Bobby Crosby, punter David Nunez. Big transfer class for GJ Kinney's squad. Quarterbacks Nate Yarnell from Pitt, Keldrick Luster from SMU, wide receivers Tyron Smith, Cincinnati, Ty Mims, Southern Miss, Marvin Anderson from Cal, tight end Ty Stamey from Louisiana, offensive tackle Anthony Crease from Kentucky, guard Lysander Mowolo from Syracuse, interior defensive lineman Michael Nwakocha from Syracuse, Jordan Sanders from Cal Poly, edge rushers Don Terry Russell from Mississippi State, Kennard Snyder from Iowa State, linebackers Aiden Jones from Prairie View A&M, Terrence Cooks II from TCU, Ashton Heflin from Marshall, corners Jaden Rios from East Texas A&M, Kamari Terrell from Oregon, Malik Willis from Campbell, safeties Chase Davis from Utah State, Javis Minat from Wofford, and kicker Tyler Robles from USC. Schedule for the Bobcats. I really like DJ Kinney, man. He is as solid as they get. Win against Eastern Michigan week 1. I think they can win at UTSA, lose at number 11 Arizona State, win against Nichols. Week 5 bye at Arkansas State. They win that one. Win at home against Troy, win at Marshall. Week 9 bye. They're going to lose against James Madison on a Tuesday, lose at Louisiana, lose at Southern Miss. They win against UL Monroe, win against South Alabama. So it's a 8-4 record for me and the Texas State Bobcats. I think that's very solid. It's a 3-1 non-conference, so it's a 5-3 in conference there. JMU, third in the East last year, 9-4 for the Dukes, 4-4 in conference. Losses, running back Wayne Knight, fullback Taylor Thompson, wide receiver Omarion Dollison, all gone. Wide receiver Ymir Knight went to SMU. Cam Ross to Virginia. Offensive tackle Tyshawn Wyatt to Virginia. Cameron Jones to Kentucky. Edge rushers Kyrie Mans is gone. Eric O'Neill went to Rutgers. Linebacker Jacob Dobbs. Corners Terrence Spence, Jordan Taylor, safety Chris Sheeran, all gone. Kicker Noel Ruelas went to UCF. Returning for the Dukes, quarterbacks Alonzo Burnett the third, Billy Atkins the fourth, running back George Pettaway, offensive tackles Joseph Simmons, Pat McMurtry, guard Carter Swayze, linebackers Gannon Weathersby and Trent Hendrick, safety Jacob Thomas. Transfers, quarterback Matthew Saluka, from UNLV, Camden Coleman from Richmond, wide receivers Jalen Sanchez from Villanova, Isaiah Alston from Iowa State. Wide receivers Landon Ellis from Richmond, Nick DeGennaro from Richmond, Zeron Collins from Tuscaloosa, freshman wide receiver Michael Scott, big-time transfer class for JMU, by the way. Offensive tackle James Pogorelk from Duke, Cam McNair from Holy Cross, center Zach Greenberg from UNC, interior defensive lineman Andrew Tadeo from Colgate, Kels Bush from Louisiana Tech, edge rusher Xavier Holmes from Maine, Turner Schmidt from Robert Morris, linebackers Jaden Studio from Kent State, JT Kawame Yao from Shepherd, corners Mekhi Rogers from St. Francis, Chance Harley from Maryland, Elijah Colt from Charlotte, safety Curtis Harris Lopez from Holy Cross, punter Patrick Rhea from Louisiana Tech. Edge rusher Aiden Gobera from Notre Dame as well. Schedule for the Dukes here. Win at home against Weber State. Lose at Louisiana on a Friday. Week 3 bye at Liberty. I think they lose that one. They're going to win against Georgia Southern, win at Georgia State, win against Louisiana. I'm going to have them win against Old Dominion. I'm going to have them lose at Louisiana, actually. Lose against Louisiana. Week 9 bye. At Texas State on a Tuesday. Lose. They're going to win at Marshall. Win against Appalachian State. Washington State's a tough one. I'm going to have them lose that one. Win again at Coastal Carolina. It's a 7-5 record for me for the Dukes this year, and it's non-conference wise. It's going to be 1-3, so it's a 6-2 conference record. Georgia Southern, the Eagles, second in the East last year, 8-5, 6-2 conference record. Quarterback Dexter Williams, the second, went to Kennesaw State. Running back Jalen White, wide receiver Derwin Burgess Jr., wide receiver LV Bunkley Shelton, tight end Tyler Fromm, all gone. Linebacker Marquise Watson Trent went to Nebraska. Linebacker Devon Gilmore is gone. Safety Mark Stampley, the second, went to Houston. Kicker Gavin Stewart is gone. Returning, though, quarterback J.C. French the fourth, running back O.J. Arnold, wide receivers Josh Dallas and Dalen Cobb, off tackles Kalen Williams, Johnny Brown the third, guards Ty Furnace, Caleb Cook, center Chance Carroll, interior defensive lineman Davion Rhodes, linebacker Devon Hicks, corner Tracy Hill Jr., defensive backs Justin Myers, Chance Gamble, and punter Alex Smith. Transfers, wide receiver Camden Brown from Auburn, Dylan Gray from West Georgia, tight end River Helms from Western Kentucky, Amon Green from Georgia State, interior defense lineman Uche Ilo from Georgia Tech, Marcus Downs from UCF, Brandon Tyson from Elon, linebacker Brandon Tyson from Elon, Brendan Harrington from App State, safety Jaden Davis from Georgia Tech, Antonio White Jr. from Rutgers, kicker TJ Hartley III from Austin P. For Gasso here, at Fresno State, I think they're going to win that one, lose at USC, win against Jacksonville State, win against Maine, lose at James Madison, week 6 bye. Southern Miss, they get at home. I think they win that one on Thursday. Georgia State, they win. Lose at Arkansas State, week 10 bye. I'm going to have them lose at Appalachian State on a Thursday, win against Coastal Carolina, win against Old Dominion, and win against at Marshall. 8-4 for me for the Georgia Southern Eagles. And it's a 3-1 non-conference, so 5-3 in conference there. The Louisiana Raging Cajuns, they won the Western Division last year, 10-4, 7-1. Lost his quarterback Ben Wooldridge and Chandler Fields, both gone. Running back Dre Washington went to Alabama. Wide receivers Lance Legendre is gone, as is Jacob Bernard. Wide receiver Harvey Broussard III went to Houston. Tight end Terrence Carter Jr. to Texas Tech. Edge rusher KC Osai went to Houston, to the Texans. Edge rusher Antoine Bayless is gone. Linebacker Carmicah Glass went to Houston. Corner Amir McDaniel is gone. Keon Martin is on the Ravens. Justin Agu went to Louisville. Safety Tyrone Lewis Jr. and Cody Jackson. Kicker Kenneth Almendares are all gone. Returning for the Cajuns, running backs Bill Davis and Zylan Perry. Wide receiver Robert Williams. Off the tackles Bryant Williams, George Jackson. Guards Caden Moreau and Jax Harrington. Edge rushers Cameron Whitfield and Jordan Lawson. Safety Tyree Skipper, punter Nathan Torney, kicker Tony Sterner. Small transfer class for Louisiana, but quarterback Walker Howard makes it big time from Ole Miss. Wide receiver Shelton Sampson Jr. from LSU. Tight end Trey Miller from Wayne State. Interior defense lineman Jalen Kreider from Youngstown State. Corners Curly Reed III from Washington. Trey Tomlinson from Richmond. Schedule for Louisiana. Home against Rice, they win. They win against McNeese State, lose at Mizzou, win again at Eastern Michigan. They win against Marshall, week 6 bye, lose at James Madison. Lose against Southern Miss, win at Troy, win at South Alabama, lose against Texas State, Week 12 bye. At Arkansas State, they win on a Thursday. They win against UL Monroe. It's an 8-4 record for me for Louisiana. 3-1 non-conference, 5-3 in conference. Finally, the Marshall Thundering Herd here. They won the conference in their first year last season, but that was under head coach Charles Huff, who went to Southern Miss. 10-3, 7-1 in conference. Other losses: quarterback Braylon Braxton went to Southern Miss. Stone Early went to Abilene Christian. Running backs AJ Turner to Minnesota. Jordan Houston, Ethan Payne are both gone. Wide receiver Christian Fitzpatrick went to Oklahoma State. Chuck Montgomery, Carl Chester, Elijah Metcalf, all to Southern Miss. Defensive lineman Jabari Ishmael went to Southern Miss. Edge rusher Mike Green, drafted by the Ravens. Dave Harris is gone. Linebacker Jaden Yates went to Ole Miss. Landon Watson to Kentucky. Corner Josh Moten to Southern Miss. Defensive back Jacoby Henderson went to Rutgers. Safety J.J. Roberts is on the Bucks. Punter Alec Clark went to Southern Miss. Kicker Reese Verhoff went to UNC. They returned just one key contributor from last year. That's it. Kicker Nathan Totten. That's it. Big time transfer class as the new head coach comes in. Tony Gibson, NC State defensive coordinator and linebackers coach. Quarterbacks Carlos Del Rio Wilson from Syracuse, Zion Turner from Jacksonville State, running backs Tony Mathis Jr. from Houston, Michael Allen from UNLV, wide receivers DeMarcus Lacey, Jacksonville State, Jacoby Baldwin, NC State, Antonio Harmon, Mississippi State, Xavier Short, App State, Ben Turner, West Liberty. Off tackles, Tyler McDuffie from Hampton, Morgan Scott from Mid-Tennessee, guard Bryce Biggs from West Virginia, center Evan Ferguson from Gardner-Webb, interior defensive lineman Katron Evans from Charlotte, Jaleel Rivera Harvey from Western Kentucky, Jamal Weiss Jr. from South Carolina, Tyus Martin from Jackson State, Naquan Crowder from Cal U in Pennsylvania, linebackers Javay Gilmore from Mississippi State, Jalen Parker from NC State, Cannon Lewis from NC State, Jabril Al-Amin from Jacksonville State. Corners Marvay Myers from Mid-Tennessee. Joshua Pierre Lewis from West Georgia. Daryl Sweeting from Temple. Safeties Boogie Trotter from Tennessee State. Cam Smith from Jackson State. Schedule for Marshall. It does not start off very well. At number 5, Georgia, they lose. I'm going to have them win against Missouri State, win against Eastern Kentucky. At Mid-Tennessee, I'm going to have them lose at Louisiana, Week 6 bye. Lose against Old Dominion, Texas State, Week 9 bye. Lose at Coastal Carolina on a Thursday. Lose against JMU. Shock at Georgia State win. Lose at App State. Lose against Georgia Southern. It's a 3-9 record for me. 2-2 non-conference, so it's a 1-7 in conference here. The nice fire alarm, smoke alarm going off. Anyways, that is the show. Long one, I know, once again, but that's it. That is it for the conference previews. They were too long, I know. Fix it next year. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FA Podcast, Instagram, and X. Enjoy the college football madness that is going on, and we will see y'all back on Tuesday when we give our Super Bowl MVP and playoff picks, as well as preview the opening night of Week 1 NFL. Thanks, y'all, and we'll see y'all on Tuesday. Happy Labor Day.